Hello. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Let's see. Ooh, my eyes just lost focus because of that sneeze. Okay. What I'm gonna do here is make my usual announcement. A little early, I said I'll be here in 6 minutes. Well, 6 minutes meaning 1:30 p.m., which, as you can see, well, you probably can't because my body's blocking it, is in 6 minutes. So a little early, but I hope that doesn't disappoint anyone out there. People probably don't feel necessarily the need to watch every minute of my live. You know, I would be delusional if I thought that that's the kind of fandom I have. It would be interesting if I did, but I don't. So here I am. Pretty crazy. Well, not crazy. Pretty cool news. That's not much of a news. Here, hold on. Chill vibe. My little berry folk simulation is done. And they do their own thing. It gets a little crowded, so I might have to turn off this like debugging stuff. But I am starting to make my devlog / video while I started writing the script for this, because I'm basically done. The idea is that I haven't programmed any of their action behaviors. All I told them to do is prosper. Go live and prosper. And decide how you're going to do that yourself. It would be cool if we have some sort of like generational learning logic that allows them to like get better, or like they learn behavior from their parents and stuff like that. Obviously this is broken. I'm guessing that's because of my left click. And they do get old. They get old every year, and after 3rd year, they die and spawn more seeds. So hopefully, they get ahead of the curve. I'm gonna lower the music real quick. Uh-oh. You're gonna fail. Uh-oh. That's what happens. There's something about the goal-oriented action planning for each individual berries is that they can't think in groups. I mean, I'm sure I can make it. It's a little bit trickier to do some sort of group thinking. So you can see that they individually, selfishly try to do what they can to fulfill their own goal. But regardless, they are still prospering. They're propagating. So it's good to see. It's pretty cool. Hey, Fernando. Welcome, welcome. Fernando's up in the house. And then just gonna watch it. So today's agenda, I mean, I'm gonna try to clean this up maybe. Clean up the plugin at least, I mean, so that it's more widely applicable. I mean, I already did that. It's just that it's lacking a lot of the documentation. I mean, I don't really need to. Maybe I could make some visual aid for making the video for this. I wonder if this will... Okay, I'm not adding any more seeds. The hope here is that when the old berries die, they'll spawn the seed, and then the younger generation will come in, you know, save the day. Hopefully one of these... Hopefully there's enough younger generation to fulfill. All right, go, 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 go. Do it. You can do it. No. Water them. Water them. They're about to die. Okay, good. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I just want to see how much, if it ever dries out, as it is right now. I think they won't. All right, they did it. Okay, they're propagating. I was afraid they were gonna be extinct. I want to see it. I want to see it go. Let's see how far it goes. And at some point, it's probably going to lag. I try my best to, what do you call? Optimize where I can. But, you know, there is a limit. And these plants die so quickly. So whole watering thing, like, for example, this one is already dead. Would be rough, I think, for a lot of these plants. But they're doing it. Now we're back at 3 young plants and 1 old plant and 4 seeds with some of the water out and about. So I think we're in a good spot. They're picking up seeds, they're planting seeds. It's so cool. I really like that they're just doing their own thing and surviving. I'm excited to release this video, I have to say. Rendell says, good morning from Melbourne. Today is public holiday for National Gambling Day. Wow. Leave it up to Australia to have a National Gambling Day as a public holiday. That's funny. Well, no shades there. I hope you're having a good National Gambling Day, I guess. I think this will grow forever, right? This population will never die now. I think it's optimized. There's no critical point where they start to fight for resources, which will make it more balanced. But as far as I'm concerned, my goal has been achieved. Only thing I can change for the goal-oriented action planning portion that'll make this even more interesting for the implementation is if they consider the amount of time it takes to complete each behavior to find the most optimal fulfillment towards the goal. Right now, they weigh each action as equally difficult or equally easy. So right now, they don't do anything because there are no seeds. I may add things like when there are no seeds, some of the older ones get hunted. No hunting right now. Rendell says it's called the Melbourne Cup. Horse racing. Oh, I see. It's like Kentucky Derby in America, but it's not a national holiday. It says, and the race is called the race that stops the nation. Wow. Do a lot of people bet? Is betting on horse racing legal in Australia? Is that what happens? Maybe I should bet. Can people outside of Australia bet? Hi, Magic Food Bar. Oh, it's kind of interesting today that most of the people, well, when I say most, I mean all the people are on YouTube and nobody's on Twitch today. That's unusual. So that's exciting. All right. So far, so good. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I kind of want to make the visual. I need to learn motion canvas for this video so I can make the visuals. Randall says, yes, a lot of people bet, and I mean a lot. Yes, horse and people outside Australia do bet and run horse. Wait, what? Run house. Okay. I thought you meant like the horses are betting on other horses. Or the racer. That's interesting. Okay. Did you bet anything, Rendell? Are you looking for someone to win and make it big? I mean, I guess you can't really make it big if there's too many people in the pool, right? You can only make it big if there's like enough like odds. All right, these berries are dying and reborn. They're doing what they can to survive. Rendell says it's 8:30 a.m. and the race. Oh, I see. You have time. Nice. Well, you're starting your day fresh. That's exciting. Well, I'm betting that this will grow forever. I do wonder what the performance of this is doing right now. Monitor here. I mean, it's not that bad. Like, you get this 51 millisecond spikes every now and then. But overall, 400 FPS is not too bad. Object count is forever growing, but that makes sense because the berries are forever growing. And we don't have any orphan nodes. So I think it's a good sign. I think this is ready. So basically, when you touch the seed with a fertile ground, they become a plant, and the plant grows slowly as they deplete water, and you need to water them to keep them alive. And the water bucket can be created by interacting with the well. So the berries are deciding, hey, should I pick up the water bucket that's already out here? Or should I go for interacting with the well? Should I drop what I'm holding and plant instead because the plant just died? All of that automatically with the system. And, you know, if you think about making a conditional statement for all these minor details of behavior, you know that it's too many conditions that you may or may not miss. So this is a good one. I like it. Randall says, I'm actually having a Godot problem. I have a Parallax 2D background and I apply a shader to it, but for some reason the shader doesn't move. I turn off shader and I can see it move. Any idea? Oh, you mean the shader doesn't move with the background? Okay. Well, Parallax background may underneath draw, like it doesn't have its own texture. It may be a screen. So if you're using texture as a source, you might want to experiment with doing the screen texture. Though screen texture means everything but underneath. So the order of drawing start to matter. Okay, it's starting to lag, I'm sure. This is getting really heavy on this. 326, how many? Population is getting big for sure though. It's struggling. It's funny. Randall says, I put a texture rect on Parallax and Parallax is fine, but when I apply shader, shader doesn't move. It's like a green screen. Yeah, no, I'm not, I feel like I'm not entirely familiar. Hey, Temptic. Long time no see. Welcome, Raiders. I guess I should shout out Temptic real quick. Welcome, welcome. Temptic says, utterly floof raid. Oh, Temptic raid here with the utterly raid. All right, while Temptic is here, Rendell here on YouTube was asking some question that I didn't know the answer to. I don't know if this is a side effect of Godot in general, if there's a way to fix it. Rendell said the shader that they applied on the texture rect that's living inside of Parallax 2D, and you put that in the Parallax layer, right? Are you using the new Parallax system? Because there's an old Parallax background and then there's a Parallax layer, which is a new one. And the shader is not moving, but the texture is. Is that what you're saying? Does the texture also not move when you do the shader? There's a possibility that they're implementing the Parallax logic as a shader. That would be silly, but there's a possibility, and that's something you might want to read up to. How about this? Just give me a second. I want to get rid of the behavior description and just run the whole thing. Hello, Raiders, once again. I'm just starting today. I have been working on this simulator where these little sims decide what to do based on a goal of propagating. And this is something called a goal-oriented action planning. And I have been working on this because I made a video about how people should stop using just vanilla state machine for their purposes. And you got to get a purpose-fit tooling and design patterns. I introduced behavior tree and goal-oriented action planning, and then some of the upgraded versions of state machine. And so I wanted to make a plugin that allows you to implement all those things easily. State machine, behavior tree, goal-oriented action planning. So I made this plugin, and as a test, I made the simulation, and I have been working on making this simulation work. So I'm just watching these berries kind of work by itself and grow itself. Meanwhile, I'm answering Rendell here. Rendell says, when I don't apply the shader, and just leave the texture, I can see the texture is moving. But apply the shader material and the shader doesn't move. But if I resize, I can see the texture not covered by, or not covered MVs. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Let me search something real quick. Maybe I can do a quick Google search and it might help. With my Google foo, it'll be Godot parallax layer shader not working. Temptix says, hey Mo, welcome. Hi Mo, I saw you stream earlier today. Well, earlier my time, probably later on your time. Mo says, oh neat, indeed. Temptix says, sorry, was saying goodbye to Mo, which I was doing a co-op stream. Oh, I see. That's why you guys were together. Temptix says, but we were playing Little Nightmare. Aw, cute. It's and Reanimal. Never heard of that one actually. But usually I do game dev, and very sometimes Mo does game dev. Yeah, I remember Mo. But yeah, I'm just watching my little guys work and make sure that it's functioning fully. If I notice anything interesting, I will probably update it. All right, Randall, I got some results. Randall says, anyway, no problem. Thought I would ask. I brute forced a solution to force global position and scale it as a shader parameter and update it as process time. That's not unusual. Some of the timed shader stuff, you do provide time parameter so that you can have a synced clock. So it's not too hacky if that's what you had to do, but let's see. I'm looking at Godot issues, like the tickets, like the Godot platforms ticket section, to see if there are known issues they have tickets for. They might. Some old issues I see. Parallax behavior. Updated Godot today. My parallax layer is messed up. Only scroll is Y. There's some issues with rotation of parallax. Not really familiar with this. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I tried. Randall says, are you going to introduce mutations into the grown spawned minions? That would be interesting. I think if I have to prove more point, I could see that being a thing that I could do. Because at one point I was thinking, because, you know, I already have my little berry folk thing, and there's different types of berry folk that I could include. I already have the sprites for. So, for example, if they decide, oh, we don't have enough warriors, so they're going to start building warriors and stuff like that. But, you know, as of right now, I want to kind of put a pause on this demo itself and go back to polishing the plugin to make sure some of the generic fixes or generally applicable features of what I made gets included into the plugin. Hey, Brenoid. Wow, everybody was on Temptix stream today. Mo says, I'm remembered. Yeah, Mo is rememberable. Temptix says, samesies. Mo says, how did that project about assets versus original art go? That was one, right? Yeah, there was one. I go back and forth a lot. That one is on pause for a little bit. I still am working on it. It's just I have to come back to it. I went back to my spacefaring adventure game because I really wanted to because that's my big project. That's my launch this game for release on Steam project. And I have people together. So I had a conversation with one of my friends who's, working as an artist for our project. And we had a lot of brainstorming ideas. So we were like, okay, well, this is too many ideas. We need to really lock it down if we want to launch it. So I made a document and made some roadmap. And so I was focusing on doing that initial alpha launch. So we did that. And then in the middle of it, I was like, well, I have to make video now. So I got to a good stopping point with that one and started working on some videos. And part of that, I got into this experiment. So Yeah, the typical game dev content creator distraction shenanigans. Oh, Fernando, thank you. I don't know what ARS is, but thanks for the dono. Wow, is it a super chat? Wow, look at that. Super chat says, how would you approach a 3D interaction system where you can pick up items and put them in certain places? For example, a coffee maker that needs a mug to work. I made a requirement resource that has the name of the function. For example, a function on the player that returns true if the player has the mug, but it all seems so convoluted to me. It does get convoluted. You know what I use for this guy? Okay, this might be relevant. So you know how, like, I'll show you something. What I did have to do, or maybe you could see it here. You know how this, like, the berries are picking up the seeds and sometimes picking up the water bucket, but they don't pick up something else. Or, for example, the water bucket and the well is both considered water source, but then they use the well, but they pick up the water bucket. Two different things, right? The way I decided to do this may feel hacky, but in my experience, it actually does pretty well. But you do need to, I do think that it's beneficial to have this like conversion layer. I am identifying, because it's a node irrelevant, I may create a character body, I may create a node, I may inherit different types of classes. I can't rely on the class type to allow these behaviors. The two solutions I can think of that I was messing with was this. One, if you look at my berry folk, I started doing this where I add a component that allows for those things. So for example, I would be like, oh, this entity can be used by someone, a subject. Then I would make a use component and make it a property of the root node. For example, I have a movement component, this one, that I made, which I can just drag and drop to anything that requires movement, and it'll handle movement automatically. And I made it a property, so if the game logic says, okay, move this object if it can move, would be a simple question of, does this object have a property called movement? Or does this object have a child called movement component? Right? For your use case, it would be like, does it have a use component? If so, get that component and call its logic. And internally, for this particular entity, for example, if this was mug, I can edit my use component where I assign the subject, which would be the root node, where I drag and drop the exported variable, and then define its logic. Alternatively, downside to this is that unless you make the world information, the world state global, within this tree, you have no way of controlling the interaction that is happening outside of itself, right? From the mug, you can't, I don't know, you can't shatter into pieces. Maybe that's a bad example, but you know what I'm talking about. So for cases where I needed the world information, I started to transition into using global groups or scene groups. And it actually works pretty well for me. Downside is remembering the hard-coded string, and that you can misspell and have a bug and have a hard time debugging. Well, first of all, before I get to that, let me show you one example. So this is a search and pickup seed, right? And this is made up of two behavior. Search behavior, where I say I am searching for a group's any items that are in group seed and pickupable, which allows me to say the onus is on me to make sure anything that is assigned pickupable has a function called pickup. And then, you know, that contract needs to be documented or whatever. You need to remember it forever. Otherwise, if you don't want to have to remember that, you can have a liaison like transform object that is ref counted that says object behavior helper. And then, you know, you can have those like translation of string to whatever object. I hope that all makes sense. So far, that's the two things that help me not get confused and keep track. That is not super convoluted and just trying to remember everything. Right now I am liking the idea of using group to identify the interactability. Downside, once again, of course, is that group can be used for many different purposes so that it may overlap with the namespace of other things. So that's a downside. The other approach is making a component that is a property of the root node. So it can be like, access that. If it has it, use it. If it doesn't, don't. Because look, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. This you can use to avoid error. Every node has this thing called has method where you can string define. So I could, if I say like mug use, right? But then let's say anytime a user goes up to an object that is highlightable and they press a interact button, and I wanna choose between interact, use, crash, break, or attack, whatever. You could have a hierarchical fallback of like, hey, does this object that I'm interacting, because it's interactable, has a method called interact? If so, call interact, right? Like this would be a non-class specific way to do it. Because traditionally, if you weren't using Godot, I think you would have cases like, hey, if the object is interactable, right? If it was interface-based thing, then you would have something like this, as opposed to being like, hey, if we do it specifically for the method name only, then we can do that. Otherwise, we could also, you know, like do the whole like get child and look through each children and see if they have these things. That's my suggestion, 2D or 3D, right? I think it's non-2D, 3D specific. Fernando says, I use groups as well because I have an interaction component that is used in both pickupables and machines, so I need to tell the difference. Yeah, I'm really enjoying using groups, and especially for like, I did this for my other one where I was doing the magic spells where certain things can have different behavior when it's exposed to heat, flame, wind, and movement forces, and it allows me to kind of like define like what has what interactability. But be mindful of the downside that I was talking about. But thanks for the super chat. Hope that helped. But if you have more specific questions, ask away. I'll clarify. Mo says, how did that project... Okay, so read that. Temptic says, I got a very, very old issue that happened in Godot 3.x and Godot 4.5. What was that? Brenoid says, oh, I was AFK. We rated Ezra. Yes, we did. Brenoid, hi. Moise Moore says, project hopping is so relatable. Yeah, no, never-ending amount of ideas, first of all. And second, because I'm a content creator, sometimes if I have a gap and if I have a cool idea, I go, I need to make a video. Especially because recently I had 2 sponsors, so I had to like hurry and make sponsor. You know, I hate taking sponsors sometimes because like, yeah, they pay for your video, but it's also like they have a very like specific deadline and timeline. And sometimes you're like, I want to make this better, but you already approved it. I don't want to make it edit. So you guys already pay for it, so I'll just release it. But it feels kind of wrong. But anyways, we do what we do. I'll just re-release some of the videos. Same topic, better. It's okay. Only a few people watched it anyways. Temptic says, I'm gonna run to my bed though. Have fun stream, Ezra. All right, Temptic, thanks for the raid. Renoy says, have a nice rest, Tempting. All right, cool. We caught up here. Yeah. Keep asking away. Anyways, let's try and clean this up. You know what's so fun about this? I came up with this system. So goal-oriented action planning, if you guys remember what that is all about, is that each behavior option has a precondition, which means a state, the type of state that allows the action to be available, and then the post condition where it edits the state to a certain type. So if you look at my implementation for this game, the goal state is called goal state, this one right here. I had to extend my goal-oriented action planning state, which was very specifically Berry Folk state. and it extends resources, so you have to do export here. So you can see right here, these are the state variables. Something you would notice is that it's kind of silly type of state. It's like very expanded, interpreted version of the state. So if I use this to control my game or run my game, it'll be very hectic. Because it's like it's telling me that the berry folk is holding something and is holding something that belongs to this group. And there's this many seeds out there and this many water out there, this many plant out there, this many fertile terrain out there. I did this because I wanted to simplify the state comparison for precondition and postcondition. So on this equals function, which is required by the GeoAP state, which it uses it to decide if the state has gotten to a point of success. When you're creating this goal state, you can assign which ones are optional, meaning I don't care what the values of certain states are. I only care to reach this state variable to be locked. And that is important because if you look at my goal, when I'm creating a goal on the berry folk behavior, where's the goal decision? So right here, you can see that when I see this many, when I see a thirsty plant, my goal is to reduce the thirsty plant by 1. That's what I'm saying. My goal state, I get a snapshot of the current state, which converts all the game data and modifies it into this simple goal state snapshot of the current world so that it's efficient to run through it. And then I say, well, I'm going to manipulate this state to this so that this is the goal, which is to reduce the number of thirsty plants. And then I'm going to set that everything else is optional. I don't care what the value of everything else is. All I care about is for the thirsty plant count to become this thing. Oh, thanks for the... Oh, hey, new member, Fernando. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. It helps a lot. So I'm saying thirsty plant count will be locked in. It has all of these other options, but all I care about is to match this part of the goal. So this, I like how I implemented this with the abstract because this means, yes, the tool decides what you must do, but as a user, I decide how the equals comparison work with this flexibility. I don't know how I can generalize this part, but, you know, maybe there's a way to do it. Anyways, so cool. And if I wanted to show you what each of the action looks like, look at this. If I go to my berry folk, this berry folk has my state machine, blah, blah, blah. This is the action planner, which automatically does the planning. But look at all the actions available. I didn't choose which order things needs to happen. If I look at the implementation, the drop item, look. Drop item is available if the berry is holding something. And once it executes it, depending on what it was holding, it changes the variable this way, and then it's no longer holding anything. That's all I defined, the two things. Wait, hold on. I also saw another notification. Oh, thanks for the sub. Gilherm Faria. Anyways. Sorry if I butchered your name. All right. Look, get seed. Same thing, right? In order to get seed, which is pick up seed, I should not be holding anything. And there should be at least one seed on the field available for pickup. And if that's the case, when I perform it, the seed count goes down by 1. Now the berry is holding something and it belongs to the group seed. So basically all of these actions just define what allows this action to be performable. And then what happens once you perform it. And then all it does is automatically decide. So I really like it. And I can talk about it confidently now that I confirmed that it works. So like Holy smokes. I have not been paying attention. 19 years. We have Berry Apocalypse. Oh, they're all over the place. Hold on. Wow, we dropped to 2 FPS. I wonder when that happened. Uh-oh. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. I'm crashing. Did I crash? No, it's just the... Okay, just Godot crashed. That's okay. That was pretty crazy. I don't know if I can make it any more efficient, though. Hey, Zuzu. But yeah, no, it's cool. But you can probably tell that... Like, so it has a precondition, postcondition. So it does like the Dijkstra or like breadth first search. Well, Dijkstra because if you do weights, then it'll choose the shortest path. Dijkstra algorithm to like figure out the best way to perform a goal. And it's cool, but that means on every loop, every time it needs to calculate that, you're doing a pretty complicated run. So there's a chance of things running for too long. As you can see, that one ran for a long time. I do wonder if there's a way to make it more efficient with some sort of caching. But alas. Alright. I'm going to try to clean up some naming, some documentation potentially. But maybe I don't do that right now. Let's see.
How to approach a 3D interaction system where you can pick up items and put them in certain places. For example, a coffee maker that needs a mug to work. I made a requirement resource that has the name of a function. For example, a function on the player that returns true if the player has the mug.
Isn't that funny? The text to speech for the super chat just came live. That's hilarious to me. Anyways, Fernando, I hope I answered your question. I know you said you already did that. You are doing the group as well, so maybe that's what you wanted to hear. Somebody else also doing the same thing as you. Oh, that's funny. No, it's not you. It's just that, you know, the whole like text to speech, it just doesn't work well with me. It almost synced with chat. Yeah, exactly. Almost synced with chat. Is it only 20 minutes delayed? Wow. We're on the cutting edge of stream world. All right. Okay, I have a dilemma. I really want to design my Berry Folk merch, the mug, but I'm not sure when I can do that. Here. Make mug merch. Print on demand. Shopify? What's the best one to do? I have... But also that's not game dev. So that's where I'm like kind of split. I'm like, if I draw right now, would people be like, that's not what I watch Ezra for? But, you know, we're vibing here. Zuzu says, please don't let shipping be 3 times the amount of the mug. You know, at that point, I feel like I should ship them myself, right? I should get them ordered to myself and then ship them myself so that it doesn't cost arms and a leg. Or find ways to have it produced on each country. How about this? International friendly merch selling platform. Well, Shopify doesn't allow on-demand print. It just is a selling. Where to make mug commercial? You know what? I'm gonna have to do some research for this one. There's this like Printify. Merchize? Let's see some of the requirements. Start designing. Doesn't really say. It looks cheap though. Zuzu says, forced Europe meetup? What, you mean I have to go travel to Europe with all my mugs in my little rolly bag and then I meet in person? Okay, here's a scary story. A game dev content maker in Korea got kidnapped and ransomed. My mom was like, don't meet anyone in real life, Ezra. It's scary out here. And it is scary out here. Zuzu says, that is exactly what I meant. Zuzu, only if you promise not to kidnap me. Not convinced. Zuzu says, I would never do that, right? I don't know. I don't know. You do like 1940s, or is it 1940? Is that correct? 1940s? No, you like, I think it was 40s and 20s. I don't know. Zuzu said, I'd even let you crash on my couch. Oh, okay. That doesn't give me any comfort, but thank you. Thank you for the offer. Appreciate it. Brainzep says, I will kidnap you. Oh, great. Brainzep says, you can put the art on sites like Redbubble and people can order the merch. Oh, let me see what that is. Redbubble sounds Chinese. Am I racist for that? Zuzu says, or you can have the whole basement to yourself if you want. I see what you did there. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, so nice to offer your basement. As long as there's internet and ventilation, I think I'll be okay with that. Zuzu says, just have to move some stuff. As long as you let me tie you up every night. That's what I'm imagining you're gonna do. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I can just like post design and then people can order themselves. Okay. I really want to do design. Am I crazy? Because I just finished this and I want to celebrate this. How about this? You guys help me create my intro? No, I don't want to expose it. Anyways. So far, the action planner is here. Action nodes only need to do these two things. And the action state just needs to define this. And it did everything I need to do. So I think this is everything you need. Only thing is, I don't know where you guys make an SVG. Magic Fubar says, speaking of exposing, huh? What are we exposing? You don't know me. What are you trying to expose me? Are you trying to get me canceled for some reason? Our behavior tree is good. Behavior tree, each tree is a node in itself. It has an execute, and then you can pass in Blackboard if you would like to. It comes with min heap, because min heap is a utility that I use as a priority queue, which I didn't confirm if it works or not, but it's okay. This is not required. Okay. Pretty thin. I think that's it, honestly. It's pretty sick. Magic Foodbar says, would you share your game idea if it feels very unique and entertaining? Yeah, I would. You know, honestly, I've learned that most of the times the difference between people who make it and don't is not the idea, it's the tenacity to actually execute and create. I share all my game ideas. Well, all the ones that I'm excited about that I've started working on. There are a few that it's like, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do them, so I don't share. But most of them I share. Are you afraid of like people stealing your idea? I guess I would be careful of sharing with other game dev streamers if you don't know them well. Because, you know, they're already in the business of just looking for ideas to implement. But Magic Four says, wait, idea is wrong. The game is almost done. Huh? What do you mean? You're going to have to explain what you mean, because I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like, would I share my game if I'm almost done with it? Yeah, I would. I don't see why not. There's no risk. Magic says, my game idea works pretty well. Okay, what is your goal? Do you want to share your game idea and you don't want me to steal it? Oh, I see. So you want to share your idea. That's different. Let's see. We gotta get back to our little treasure island game real quick. Because I did want to debug the triangulation logic. If you recall. It's loading. A lot of preloads, that's why it takes a long time. This is my main project, Dread on Arrival. We were working on our roguelike version of the game, which includes this generation of star map. And then once you travel to it, a little tactics game starts. And then we finished this. I had one issue where the space map logic, and I have to probably get to the space map tester here somewhere. This one. So if I launch this, it is procedurally generated. So I worked on this for a while. This uses, this uses binary space partitioning plus neighbor approximation through the triangulation method called Delaunay's triangulation. And then it finds the minimum spanning tree, and then it reattaches some of the lines in order to make a cycle. But as you probably noticed, there are some isolated dots every now and then, which is not by design. So I need to do some debugging to allow me to kind of take a peek at why it's happening. But yes, it is ProcGen. And this is actually my next video, by the way, Conic. Hey, Conic, by the way. So I have a how to generate dungeon series tutorial on YouTube. And I've done binary space partitioning. I did cellular automata. I did Drunkard's Walk. And then the next episode is supposed to be about connecting corridors, connecting rooms together. And part of that is doing Delaunay this method. So I'm trying to kind of hone this down. I already have the intro recorded. I just need to make sure I debug this out. Connie says, I saw the State Machine video, but I was busy whole day. Oh, no, it's okay. I understand. That's not a problem. But so let's take a little bit of a moment to create a debugging version of the space map so we can stepwise debug this real quick. So what I want to do for the space map, when it's generating, I want to see each of the circles and dots one at a time. This might be really, really bad, but we'll see. Let's see how this goes. We got space map tester. I want to see if there's other testers I created already. I didn't. Okay, cool. So on space tester, it calls the space map reset and generate. And then it does the start map thing. We're going to get rid of the start map for now, so that doesn't do the whole like placement of the ship. So we're not wasting time. And then we see these dots here. So we're going to explore some of the parameters here on the generate. I want to see every single circle that gets drawn to check. And I want to see every single line that gets removed. So we'll probably do some signaling here. Or signaling or stepwise. Or we can start breaking this function into multiple pieces. As you can see, it's a monster of a generation logic. So let's break it apart here. So map size is decided. We have the thing. We're generating rooms. Those are the dots. We don't care about that. Dot being produced based on the number of POI count. That's okay. Is it just me or music is extremely loud in our ears? I feel like the music is pretty loud. Okay. Excuse me. By the way, Konik, I'm trying to make like 5 videos out of that one state machine thing. Because that was just introduction being like, hey, there's other things other than state machine you can use. And then there's a devlog version, which is like, hey, I made this cool AI system. And this is the technology I use. And then the other thing will be like, hey, here's how to program state machine. Hey, here's how to program behavioral tree. Hey, here's how to program goal-oriented action planning. Uh-oh. I released a plugin that includes all of these things and made this with this. So that's like 6 videos right there. So that's the plan here. You heard it here first. You get a little sneak peek. Maybe it won't be as fun for you to see it now that I've spoiled it, but you know, you're part of the team here. You guys are the real G's that's supporting me, watching my live stream. The chosen few. The chosen few. The real backbone of this channel. Maybe I shouldn't isolate people who are not part of the group, but this is how it goes. All right. So we have the binary space partitioning with shuffle it, blah, blah, blah. Create the dots. We push it back. We make a POI point of interest. Room node. Da, 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 da. All right. Triangulation helper right here. This is where it gets interesting. Oh, thanks. Fernando with another dono or super chat. Just everybody, don't be surprised when you hear this text to speech come in like 20 minutes later, because I don't know how to make it faster, but it will happen. Fernando says, have you ever advised someone on a personal project for money via Zoom or Meet? I really need help with like a lot of things, and I can't seem to find people that want to put the work needed to make a game, so I'm on my own. Okay, I'll be honest. I thought about it, but I never like formalized it. I've done it with my friends. So I have a lot of, so I'm in Seattle. So I have some friends that I made in the Seattle Indies group, and we are all indie developers. And obviously we do like test plays and little discussions. And because they know that I am from a tech industry with like real software engineer background with like 10 plus years of experience, they like to consult with me. Not that I have a truly like successful idea. I don't have any games I release. So like in that sense, you can't really trust me, but at least I know software in some sense, and can give my perspective as a game player, one who likes games, and one who does kind of know about marketing just because I've been in the industry at a higher level, and plus I do content creation, which is half marketing. So we talk about it. So I've done those things, but I do it for free there. But that reminds me, this is a long way of answering this question. I was wondering if I should announce any like private services being like, hey, I do consultation for Godot. System design, planning, project management, and just general game design ideas. I don't know how much I would charge. I mean, I don't want to be ridiculous, but it has to be fair. But if you're interested, Fernando? Is that Fernando? Yeah, Fernando. Sorry, your name is cut off. I'll be interested in doing it. How about that? Maybe we'll do it. Fernando says, if you ever do, let me know. Okay. It really depends. I guess here. I think I will probably do something like that. I can get commissioned to do that kind of like private thing for pay, or a discounted pay if I'm allowed to share it on YouTube, the discussion, right? Like that makes sense. Because I know some people don't want to share it because they want to keep their idea very much secret. And so I understand. Branoid says, I'll release game in 2 weeks. Consult me quick. Okay, Branoid. As long as I can share it on YouTube, it's discounted, or otherwise I'll get paid. and you pay me however much you want, I guess. Imopig says, what would your consultation rate be? You know what? I don't know. I have to go look it up. You know what? This is a time. I feel like this is the type of question that I can kind of infer or refer to AI a little bit. Hey, I am... Oh gosh, don't look at my other ChatGPT history, please. How do I... Hey, I am a experienced software developer making video game development and game design content on YouTube. I have started taking consultation to provide system design, game design, and project planning. Provide system design tips and tips. What should the fair market rate be for services like this? I think I want to provide a discounted rate if the session is allowed to be shared on my channel. And we'll see what this says. I'm trying to do a repairing game with story, a simple story about AI getting in everything. It's really just starting, but I know 3D modeling pretty well, so I really wanted to do something with that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You know, consultation is always good, but we'll see. Okay. Like part of me is like, I just want to do it for free to see what it's like, since like I have no experience, but I do feel like I want to be respectful of both my time and your time. So I do think that it should be paid something. Hi, Emo Pigs, by the way. Long time no see. Brandon says, I guess we can look at people providing similar services like Game Doctor or Indie Game. I didn't know that. I don't know about those channels. But let's see here. Good on you for I love how much like the chat like to butter me up. Fernandez says, yeah, you got to charge. It's your time and expertise. Yeah, I know. That's my mistake. Keep undercharging myself. Anyways, it says, good on you for branching into consultation work. Since you asked for tell it like it is, here's a breakdown of what I recommend. Logical Insanity says, I'm starting a project with a couple of guys and we're working on a prototype. If I can get them to commit, we will likely pay for the service. Really? From me specifically? Okay, maybe it's not a good look on me to be so doubtful of myself. I'm not doubtful, but Imopiki says mostly lurking. I see. Wait, have you been lurking recently? Okay, I'm not gonna expose you. It's fine. Logical Insanity says, yeah, man, I love your videos. Oh, that's great. Thanks. I appreciate the appreciation here. I mean, once again, I would like to think that I have a fair look on what I know and what I understand and where my skill sets are at, you know? So maybe that's okay. It's like tutoring. I used to do tutoring a lot. What people are charging. Here's a reality of market rates pulled from what's available. Okay, there's some Glassdoor, some whatever other stuff. Let's see. People doing freelance game design work, not necessarily consistency, report rates around 21 to 37 an hour for a more generic game designer task. Okay, I'm more like software, right? More broadly, freelance consulting tends to average higher. Consultant hourly averages in software IT range around US 98 per hour in some surveys. For game development, more generally, programming engine work on source says 50 to 150, depending on the expertise, I guess. Depending on the seniority level. In the game designer niche specifically, one article shows it seems like it's floating about 100 an hour, seems about right. So your niche puts you above entry design work, but likely below AAA engineering architecture consulting. That suggests you can legitimately commence somewhere. Yeah, and that's a huge range. How about this? I think if it can be, I mean, that's the thing. You don't need more than an hour of service, is how I see it. Like, you only need hour of consultation. Like, 50 is a good spot, but, you know. What I recommend you charge. Given your background, experienced software developer, game dev YouTuber offering system and game design and planning, you have credibility and premium position. Here's how to shape your pricing. Standard full value hourly rate would be USD, 100 to 150. To start, I'll probably do 100 for like, I think I'll do slot based. If I ever did this, I'll do a slot based system where I'll do first 10 slots are 100 per hour. And then the next 10 slots are 120 per hour. And the next 10 slots are 150 per hour. So if I have 30 slots, you have these like first come, first serve, cheaper rate. And each of those sessions are 50% off if I'm allowed to share it online, is how I would see it. Discounted exposure rate for clients who consent to your recording the session, sharing highlights or full footage on YouTube channel, maybe 50 to 75. Yeah, about 50%. Or even set as a flat session. Ooh, flat session is not bad. Ooh, you know what? This is probably tempting, right? Regardless of the hour, if you allow me to share your part or full discussion online, then you get a flat rate for the whole session. You might also consider package per retainer pricing, a package or retainer pricing rather than strictly hourly. Example, 4 sessions for $350 or 3-hour planning workshop. I like that too. Good options, good options. Fernando says, damn, is it too much? It is too much, isn't it, for you? Tell me, after hearing this, tell me what would work for you. And then I think, because you would be a real customer, you guys would be a real customers, I think that would be a pretty good, I get to do these like negotiation in public together. So I feel a little bit more comfortable calling, I think. Brian says, I think these rates are too much for the indie scene. Yeah, I think so too. So we'll probably have to adjust appropriately. I mean, this is what they're saying about like, if I'm consulting other established companies, not just indie companies like solo dev is different rate, because that's like, so even in art commission, you know, you have a different rate for people who are just buying your art as an individual versus like for corporate purposes. Imopig says flat rate $60 felt fair in my opinion for a one-time consult. I think so. I think let's do that. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna start with $60. Berman said, I've seen other consultants having different rates for indies. Yeah, let's do 60 for it. 60 flat rate, not even per hour. Fernando says 50 an hour maybe, but keep in mind I am from Argentina, so it's 50 USD here is kind of a lot for an hour. Yeah, I get it. Let's see. Let's do a single session $60. Single session $60. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be up to 3 hours. I know people will be like, then we must do 3 hours. Maybe up to 2 hours, $60. Because that's like, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say up to. I'm just going to say $60 a session. Charging too low, less than 40, risks devaluing your expertise. I get that. Your YouTube channel gives you built-in value beyond just your time. There's marketing, your audience. Yeah. The discount for exposure model also helps you build content, social proof, and yeah. I would love to be able to share it, so I would prioritize doing it with people who wants to share their work or who doesn't mind. But I think it should be known that I will probably focus mostly on the tech. Imopig says, beyond first session, 100 per hour, and the $60 consult goes towards it. Ooh, I see. So like first session is $60, but any additional session is 100 per hour, but then that $60 pays for it. Part of it. A little bit complicated pay model, but it could be interesting. Maybe I'll have to go set up my I gotta go set up my LCC first, or LLC. Input says if they need way more help. If they if they need way more help. Yeah, exactly. I got you, Fernando. No worries. How about this? How about this? I can do you. Well, it depends. First three who's okay with being on YouTube. Get it for free. And after that, I'll introduce some pricing. Please says, okay, I want to make a game. Go make a game. All right. Pretty sick. Good to know. Fernandez says first. All right. How about I put up a sign up sheet? Logical says second. Hey, hold on. Let me make a sign up sheet. Ooh, competition. All right. Do I make a Google Doc for this or Google form? We're getting like really distracted out here. Is this a distraction or is this something that gets interested? I think this could be fun. Hey, if there's a crowd for it, I think a lot of people can benefit from it. So I feel less scummy. I feel like it's actually useful for people. That way I don't have to go get an interview. I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, 4 more months, and then maybe I go look for a new interview. What is this? Oh, hey, thanks for being a member, Logical Insanity. Appreciate it. Logical says showing my commitment. All right, you're definitely in then. Dang, I should have done this from the beginning. I should have been like, oh, I do free consultation for members on YouTube. That's a way to sell it now. Brenoy says it's distracting opportunity. Yeah, it's like, dang it, opportunity to make money. Gosh, what do you think I am? I'm here to be poor. Emopig says most of your content is free, so it's not scummy. All right, thanks for making me feel better, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna create a consultation folder for myself. Game tech consultation. Form, Google form. I don't think people get to see their slots. It's like it doesn't fill up, does it? Oh, ads. Okay, well, I'm gonna wait on the ads. Meanwhile, I'll just type in this thing. Made with AI? Should I? Oh, thanks for the resub, Emopigs. Tier 1. Look at that. 4 months. Can you believe it? Time flies by. I always find it surprising how often I see people resubbing and I'm like, oh, has it been a month already? Dang. Anyways, I appreciate it. The consistent support. From back home. Back home, Georgia. All right. Oh, shoot. I just doxed someone. Don't worry about it. I didn't say anything.
Have you ever advised someone on a
Oh, here it is.
for money via Zoom or Meet? I ally need help with like the loot of things, and I can't seem to find people that want to put the work needed to make a game, so I'm on my own.
There it is. Thanks, Fernando, for super chat. Wow, I think, I don't know, was it actually 10 minutes delay? It's kind of crazy how much delay there is. No, the super chat voice chat thing always takes time. Renoy says also it could be good promotion to actually give free consultation on stream playing games for 15 minutes so people know what to expect from paid consultation. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to do. I don't know about okay, I feel like the first few free ones that I want to post on YouTube or shorts, I want to do it. I don't want to do it on stream because I want to edit it and make sure I get some practice in, right? So I can like demonstrate it better. And then maybe if I feel a little bit more confident, I can do it live. But I think you're right, Branoid, that it is appropriate to do that. Brandon says, yeah, that's fair. I don't know what this is. Hype train? Why is that a hype train? Did somebody else sub me earlier? Okay. Well, choo-choo, I guess. Magic Food Bar says, so close to be in sync. Yeah, I know. So close. It's going to get like shave off 10 seconds every time. Game. Hold on. What would be the title of the consultation be? Paranoid says, just don't use clinic or doctor. What is that? What's clinic or doctor? Emopig says, ask Ezra. Oh, okay. Ask Ezra. Game dev consultation. Oh my god, I gotta do writing, live writing. I don't even get to like. Hold on. Sign up to get free a game dev consultation with Ezra. A note. All sessions are recorded and is subject to being used in future contents on developer Ezra's YouTube channel. There you go. How about that? That's a legal disclaimer, Anna. Brainwave says those are taken. Oh, you mean clinic and doctor? Okay. Logical Insanity says GTP can solve this. I know it can. I'm being stubborn here. I'm trying to keep my brain. It's like iRobot, the movie where the person refuses to let the car auto drive. And then that skill will come in handy at some point. I want to create a sign up form for. Jeez, you guys, you're making me a lazy person. Don't look. I want to create a sign up form for my first 4 sessions. I need a good title and description for the service. Specifically, these first sessions would be free, but is subject to be recorded and used in future contents. Please create a Google submission form for this service. Would that be good? I don't know. As you can probably tell that I don't use ChatGPT a lot from the prompts I use. Emopig says, yeah, use your brain for these things. Not worth our electric bills to ChatGPT these things, plus eroding your brain plus comp skill. Yeah, exactly. I like writing first and going through reviews and then running it through GPT to be like, hey, catch anything interesting. Fernando says, I reckon I would be good. It would be good content because my spoken English is like Gloria from Modern Family. Oh, I see the X. I think that would be good. That could be interesting. Kelso says, I scared of ChatGPT, but he's good. Don't worry, it's going to go away soon. We'll see. I mean, Sam Altman is insisting that the revenue and whatever is healthy, but when they go to public, because right now they're private, they're not a public IPO, so they can actually say whatever they want, and they could actually flat out lie, and it wouldn't be illegal. But once they become public IPO, they can't lie anymore. So we'll see what they actually mean. I have no faith. I've seen those bills, and it's huge. There's no way any amount of people paying for it will cover for that. Given how much chips cost, and those like just Like the math is pretty obvious. If you go to like AWS or like any kind of cloud computing services and look at the specific machines with those chips and how much they cost per hour. Oh yeah, math doesn't work out. Anyways, review. Game design consultation, free pilot session, record it. All right. There you go. That's okay. No flavor though. I'm offering 4 free game design and project planning consultations as part of a new YouTube series about helping indie game. Oh, hey, this is actually pretty good. Hey, this is pretty good. Let's see. Hello? Leginger Dev says, yo, what you working on? Hey, I'm working on a lot of things, as a lot of game developer, content maker do, but I got super distracted because my chat was asking some stuff. Specifically, I have been working on this game called Dread on Arrival, and I do these things where I was testing my proc-gen of the space map, these like web, and it uses Delaunay's triangulation plus minimum map spanning, those things, which is fancy and all. And then recently I just created a little Sims game where the little characters thinks for themselves. The Legendary Dev says, blah, meth. Yeah. Not Gen AI, but traditional computer AI. I hate that I have to specify that whenever I say AI now, by the way. So it uses a technique called behavior tree and some sort of finite state machine plus goal-oriented action planning, which is the coolest. So I made a plugin for it, well, more like a template for it, and I just created a test project or test game to test it out and then clean that up. So I'm ready for a video, so you can see these guys, little guys, thinks for themselves. They're like, oh, I want to plant a tree. And so they're like, oh, I'm going to kick and make some till the ground. And once they till the ground, they're going to be like, I'm going to pick up the seed. And then they're going to be like, ooh, is there more seed? Oh, I'm going to search around. Hey, the water is 90%. Let's go touch the well and grab water. And then, you know, water some of the thirsty plants before they run out. Oh, come on. Oh, and then it changes target. This is pretty cool. Anyway, so I was working on that. And then I was ready to make my video. And then I was like, oh, let's do some merch design. And of course, on YouTube, there were some people that were like, hey, Ezra, do you plan on doing any consultation? And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, I would pay for it. So I'm now making a submission form for a free consultation with me, technical game design consultation. So I can record it and make a YouTube video on it. However, I don't usually use ChatGPT, but I'm looking at some of these things here. I don't need all of this, do I? Oh, recording consent. I didn't even think about this. This is kind of important. Let's see. I'm offering 4 free game design. No, this is not it. See, this is not it. That's wrong. But that's also probably my fault. Legendary Dev says, that's awesome. I'm a game dev streamer on here too. I haven't done the goal-oriented thing before, but I've seen videos on subject and it seems super interesting. It is fun. And I'm releasing a plugin that includes behavior tree, super version of finite state machine, and goal-oriented action planning. Logical Insanity says, GPT can solve this. Better AI than Age of Empires. Exactly. Wallow. Right. Kelso says, Claude is best for code, Ezra. I don't use GPT or chat or AI for code anyways, so it doesn't matter. I'm an old man. I can't do those things. Leginger says, that's awesome. I'm gonna give it. No, I already read that already. Imopix says, I had an interesting convo with colleague today about Claude agentic coding and if it fosters creativity or limits creativity. We started the convo with how we believe it hurts problem solving skills. You know what? There's reality to that. And I believe it too. It really depends on how you use it, but how you use it is a matter of discipline, unfortunately. Like you have to force yourself to, because it's so easy to just reach and use it and not confirm. Like for example, right now, I read first 3 sentences and I was like, this seems good, but I don't know. Do I actually read and correct it? That's a choice I need to make. But I agree. I think it does limit creativity, and then it does decay creativity, because once again, these things are trained on existing data. So when you're trying to make a new invention, new way of writing, new way of communicating meaning, right? That's what poetry is. Poetry, art, movie, all these things. Like, yes, sometimes we have these rules of like, oh, storytelling is best if it's like Hero's Journey or like Dan Harmon's circle of storytelling. Yeah, there are some things that already exist that work, but sometimes you get these like new daring approach to the topic with, it's informed from old formula, but then it like challenges it, and it's unique and fun because it's bad sometimes. You get those things too, where art is so bad and rejects fundamental formula so much that it is interesting again. Like that kind of cycle kind of is lost, I feel. You gotta, it's the art of translating intention into a form that communicates, which isn't just do A, B, or C. So I don't know. But if that's not your purpose, if your purpose is not to say, I wanna learn to transcend and communicate my intention in ways that are meaningful, if that's like something that is absolutely not necessary or something that you don't want to achieve, then those people might be like, oh, this is great. AKA big tech CEOs and investors who don't care about what the material actually is. They just want it to be more efficient and look good on the chart. So BrainZep says boredom is a muse. It really is. I think people need to learn to be bored. That's my feeling. Leginger Dev says, how long have you been streaming and what's your streaming schedule been like? So I recently changed it. It used to be very inconsistent where every day I decide if I stream or not, but I changed it to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I do like 2 to 3 hours every time I do it. I try to do 4, but it's really hard. I've been streaming for a year now. For a year now? Year and a half? I've been doing YouTube longer. So if you go to my YouTube, which I will plug my YouTube real quick. If you're on Twitch, go check out my YouTube. I do Godot material. I talk about tech career in the beginning of my YouTube series, and then some Godot tutorials and dev vlogs. That one I think has been around for about 3 years now. Let's see. Emopig says, but when people have no coding background and are able to create with Claude, some argue that is literally fostering creativity. I can't really deny that. I am conflicted about it. No good. So yes and no. Fostering creativity, unblocking and lowering the difficulty of entry is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. That's why we love creating new tools, right? Even engines like Godot does that, where they're like, oh, we lowered the difficulty of the entry so that more people can enjoy game development. And the whole purpose of me creating a Godot game dev tutorial content, plus all these, like me being stubborn about sticking to GDScript and doing tutorials in GDScript, is that accessibility, so that more people can learn, have an easier way to learn. So I do agree with that portion, but the problem I think comes to, are you just doing this for fun, or are you going to like get past that level? Right? You can be good at art and you would do so well as a kid only if you were given a crayon, and you were given a crayon, but then obviously the medium has its limit. And I think a non-educated AI usage for programming to unlock your creativity has a limit that is limit of the medium, and the medium is AI. And AI medium is not a full canvas, in my opinion, especially without any external knowledge. So I really feel like it depends. Like you can't just argue one way or another. I think with a lot of things in life, there are nuances and there are exceptions and details we have to consider. So yes, you can't argue with the fact that it unlocks, but then unlocking part of the creativity doesn't mean that's the end of the game, right? How far does it unlock? Yeah, you couldn't enter before, but now you can enter. Can you go beyond the gate though? Can you go beyond the living room? If you want to get into my bedroom, or maybe that's not a good comparison. If whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Leginger Dev says, I've done game dev for 10 years, but I use Claude with a huge set of rules tailored to my coding practices and my own standards. I think it gives me the freedom to focus more on gameplay polish and fun. Also use it a lot to brainstorm ideas when I'm tired and brain dead. There's a difference between people like us who programmed prior to AI and those started with AI. There's a huge mentality shift between them. Yeah, of course. I agree with that. I feel less like, because, you know, and this is a thing that people say all the time. People who know the topic, when they search AI about the topic, they realize how wrong it is a lot of the times. And so it's like, it looks impressive because it says impressive things. But thing is, you need to learn to be able to tell the BS from the reality. And that's still work. For me, Legendary Dev, I have to argue here. I like the grind of doing some of the technical stuff and more of the repetitive things, because that puts me in a rhythm, especially when I'm typing in rhythm. It puts me into a certain mode and zone where my brain starts to rev up more and more and more, where the creativity starts to come out in that like trance state. So I do like just doing the doldrum of things, which is ironic because me not doing creative work helps me generate more creativity. And if I'm tired, I just rest. That's what I found out. Emopix says, right there, that. You agree. Emopix says, yes, and I worry about mentoring a new gen of juniors who have depended on Claude. But whatever, cross that bridge when we get to it. No, exactly. And plus the problem, okay, here's the problem. Problem with products like Claude, ChatGPT, once again, these are not open product. These are services that are provided by companies. And as much as we like to say we're going to start putting these into a hardware locked version that's in hardware where you don't need internet access to access this, the services are only there as long as these companies are alive. Of course, you might think that people will buy it out, but remember, it's not simply buying a software, it's buying a huge number of data and then the cost that runs it. So, God forbid, if something happens to one of these big companies that run and is spearheading these Gen AI services, who's going to inherit that? That's a question. And why would they inherit that if it was failing in the first place and it costs a lot? Now, what happens to all the people who were depending on these technology? Who's going to make it again? I mean, that's the question you have to ask, I think, unfortunately. These are the things that the young people need to realize. Yes, it can be a future, but it's not open to everyone. It really isn't all the time. Chuckle says, yeah, it's terrible when it comes to obscurity. Like if you're working with niche library, it might know a bit about it, but it doesn't know the ins and out of it. Yeah, sometimes it hallucinates correctly, and you have to dig deep. You do have to dig deep, look up the knowledge yourself from book, web search, and all the things. I do like doing that. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, tell me the history of this algorithm, because sometimes I want to make a video about it, and I'm like, I don't exactly know where to start, so I just go, all right, give me a history. How was this invented? Where was it first used? Where did it get popularized? That kind of stuff. It spits out a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't have been able to search in the first place. And then now I have a keyword that I can Google search for. I say this to anyone who's always learning the code for the first time, and they ask me like, hey Ezra, how do I get into learning how to code, or how do I get into learning how to game dev if I have no experience? It's always the same thing. This is a Google foo, is that first you describe what you want to do in a very convoluted long sentences, right? Because that's all you know. And once you find the keyword that describes it, for example, the keyword for me is, how do I detect neighboring dots in a graph? Like, that's generic. And I search, and I see a key called Delaunay's triangulation. What does that mean? So I look for Delaunay's triangulation. Now I have a keyword I can search, which makes the search more precise. I think that same mentality and technique applies to AI-driven study. Let's see. Legender Dev says, I sometimes like doing my normal architecture, but if it's client projects and boring projects, I use... Oh, I guess that makes sense. I never work with client projects. Like, AI coding came out after I quit big tech. Like, it became a big thing after I quit big tech, so... But I hear stories about it from my friends who are still at Amazon and Google. But for my own projects, I try to use Claude for specifically cleaning my code, proof checking silly things. I mean, hey, it helps. It helps. Logistical Intensity says, you are Claude. What? I am? I am the Claude. Claude is in my brain. It's free service. All it costs is whatever I need to eat every day. Sometimes it's expensive. Legendary Dev says, want me to copy paste them? I'm Unity Dev, but you'll get an understanding. Ooh, hey, some resource sharing here. You can do that on Discord if you guys need a place to share. On my Discord, there is a channel called Game Dev Resources. Nuance says, and then Google can't even find the keyword. And that happens, you know, that's where real knowledge of finding information becomes a thing. You know, Google made themselves a little worse because they were so good that their ad revenue went down. Do you remember that? They were really good at searching things that are like more trustworthy and actually helpful in the beginning. And then they had to make it worse on purpose because people weren't staying on the search results enough to get exposed to the ads. So their ad revenue was going down. So the idea is, by making their service perform worse, they're generating more revenue. Isn't that crazy? And you got to think about this. It's like when they say blah, blah, blah technology or blah, blah, blah performance has increased with this new technology, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Now that's a new angle right there. Legendary F says, I want solid principles. Making sure code is structured nicely, functions for separated and reusable logic. I like static extensions, methods, and classes for handling repetitive work. If it needs accessing from outside, I prefer getter functions over getter properties. I don't like using static event actions for stuff. I have a built-in system instead, so if you need static events, make sure to add a comment above it to tell me to change to topic system. I mean, those are like really good practices to upkeep your code and work with other people. And then when you come back to it, you remember things well. But also there's a part of it where I go, if doing all those things blocks you from the flow, sometimes it's okay to give up on it for a little bit to come back and clean up. And that's probably why Legendary Dev is okay with just like bop, 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 and staying in the flow and telling the AI engine to be like, clean it up in the format that I like. I mean, that can be helpful. I can see that. Nuas says, can you teach me what is the best use of event managers in games? I mean, it really depends on what engine you're using. I think what you call event is signal in Godot, right? Chuckle says, from what I understand, Kagi is Google before they made it worse. Kagi is a pay-for search engine, and it's very much late 2000 school in terms of results. Huh, interesting. I'll check it out in some time in the future. Newhouse says, Godot. My topic system is Signal Bus. Yeah, Signal Bus. I have a love-hate relationship with Signal Bus, but that's because I'm a backend engineer from my old days. I think if you're closer to the front end, which game development basically is heavily front end, Signal Bus is okay. I would be very careful with the dependency wiring. Legendary Dev says, and built a reversed version I refer to as Request Bus. Interesting. Okay. I think the best use of Signal Bus / Event Manager is making sure you access these okay. This is a practice I like to do. I like to have a wrapper helper functions that are ref counted, or like something that doesn't require node presence, so you don't have to free it. And they're either singleton helper classes, or I call it static, but then is a different thing. Is static as in there's a single instance of these things for getting and generating and handling the signal and parameters that goes into the signal in the global level. Because the practice that I like to do is you have a data, right? You have a data that you use in a game, and that may be a data that's being consumed by or represented in your character body, for example, right? You have a character body, and then you have all these properties like health, I don't know, like the state, blah, 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 blah. Now, the simplest thing to do is just say, well, here's a character body. I'm going to send it all the way up, which is okay. It works for the simplest part. But in a really bigger project, once your project starts to get big or where you have a lot of entities, I believe it's easier to convert it, do a data object transfer, where you convert the entity and transfer it to, translate it to the object that your event alone understands. So there's a translation layer. What that allows you to do is, if you change the original source data, all you have to do is, you don't even have to translate everything. You just need to translate how it becomes this other thing, and you can leave the middle layer alone. So that's how I like to approach it, but that can get tedious. I mean, it's all balanced. I feel like there's no right answer for sure. But yeah. All right, sorry guys, I'm getting distracted from writing this form. All I did was copy and paste the description. I'm really caught up in this chat here. I'm going to read this last one and then try to finish this out. Legendary Dev says, that allows me to say I need this info. It aggregates from everyone that implements the request attributes, so I can get a single or aggregate of responses. It's super useful for niche things that I don't want different systems to depend on one another. I use static classes for event names for the Signal Bus. That's a very C approach of you. Using static class for naming is very C-like exercise. I guess that's because Unity runs on C#. Does Unity run on C# or C++? I don't know. I'm using GDScript on Godot just because I can, but I haven't touched any C-based language in a while. Legendary Dev says, I 100% do cleanup with my AI occasionally, but I do a 90% of job at least on writing my code correctly the first time. I'm very clean with my code. I see. Well, you know, I admire your tenacity. I couldn't do it, at least in my own project. I have to do it in work-related stuff, but Chuck says, it's C#. I see. That makes sense. BrainsUp says, Streamlabs, please. What happened with Streamlabs? Oh, hey, that ad is my ad. I get money if you get protonpass. If you're in business of using a password manager anyways, click on the link. You get 60% off and I get some cuts, okay? It's good stuff. Emopig says, I love AI when it writes me a migration script or update existing tests. I see. Okay, so that's one thing that I probably need to catch up on. I haven't been in the industry where using AI have become the norm. There's a C#. I'm the opposite. I am clean with my own one and rubbish with client projects. Emopix also said I'm the reverse. Yeah. Well, look at me. All right. Game design consultation, free pilot session. I think game design might not be exact wording. I think it's game design tech consultation, free pilot sessions, recorded. Offering free, I don't need to specify number, free game design and I guess game and system design consultation as part of a new YouTube series about helping indie developers level up their processes. Oh, thanks for the resub. I'm trying my best. Welcome, welcome. 7 month. Cheers. Hey, cheers. Newhat says, I'm weird with naming. All my methods are often like talking. Launch this type of params. You know, I've seen all types. And the worst is when you start working in a project or different projects where everybody is like everywhere and the cross team has different rules, these things start to become like very like inconsistent. So I don't know. Just follow your gut, I guess. Imopix says, I took 1 year off work, and when I came back this year, it was all AI. Wow. Wait, did you get off consultation and actually have a full-time now? I'm like this close right now. I am gritting my teeth and being as stubborn as possible to find money outside of working at a company as much as I can right now. But every recruiter message, I'm getting like this close to starting again, but I don't want to. Shuckle says, my new work laptop has a Copilot button. Don't think I've ever pressed it. That's an interesting one. Newhouse says, listen, this event info. I like to use on this event, on press. Imopig says, I'm freelancing till end of year, but I have a full-time role lined up for Q1. Wow. Finishing my last contract December. Says, and then I'm no longer my own boss. Well, there's some peace in that. Legender Dev says, I sent you in your game dev channel an example of the service bus I built. It decouples a lot of project. Oh. Well, you're Unity, though. We have few Unity devs in our channel, but that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing. Oh, this is the command for it? Hey. Go off, king. Go off, mama. But yeah, Emopix, well, good luck. I hope you find your peace. I was thinking, reason I was this close, I was like, well, the money I will be making, I just need like 1 or 2 more years and then I can get back to it. Because I learned certain techniques that allows me to prolong my investment better, of some income strategy that I've gotten really good at. So I'm like, man, if I had what I had in the beginning of my quote unquote retirement, the fake retirement, I would be better off. But you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Pig says, health insurance is why I need it. Oh no. Hope you're okay. But health insurance is important. I'm still freeballing the health insurance department right now. Every bike ride or every scooter ride across the city is a tremendous amount of risk that I'm taking without a health insurance. Newhouse says, sorry, off topic. What is your fave method name you ever wrote? My favorite are actually definitely one words. If I can find a word that okay, so it has to be a verb. My methods is always a verb. And I like to write it in the perspective of the caller. It's not perspective of the method owner. It's a perspective of the caller. So I assume caller is doing something or requesting something to the callee, the method owner. So stuff like damage or inflict damage. I like to do the by and for and with to distinguish between different methods that uses different params. So like if I do attack, I don't like doing attack, by the way. I like doing inflict damage with weapon, or find resource by name. Like that's what I like. Think, I can think about that one, I guess. I don't know. I don't like the attack and think, but I guess that fits the criteria. Immopic says, I'm fine, just scared I'm gonna get sick. We're getting old. That's true. We are getting old. All right. System design consultation as part of a new YouTube series about helping indie developers level up their processes. These sessions are completely free, but will be recorded and may be featured in part or full on my YouTube channel or other content. If you're working on a game and want expert input on your system design, scope planning, or creative direction, this is your chance. Selected applicants will be contacted directly to schedule a 60. Okay, cool. Something that I wanted for sure is the consent. I need a contact information. And then I need a section about, oh, can I do chat little sections? Or is it just, let's see. I need contact or name. What should I call you? Short answer, yes, required. Second one, contact. Email or Discord. All right, that's required. What else? About the project, right? Project summary. And this is a paragraph. And then we want expect or I want to ask something about like expected question, goal. So maybe I would be like, what is your top What are some questions or topic you want to focus on? Is that good one? Multi-line paragraphs? Is that a thing I can do? I can't. I just do like that. It's optional. Consent. Hello, Ingest. Welcome, welcome. Consent. I don't know how to... The legal language is confusing. I, the writer of this form, the filler of the form... Hold on. I think there was a thing here. Recording and consent. Do you consent to being recorded during the consultation? Yes. Should I even provide no as an answer? I guess I have to. I don't know if it's a legal requirement to have that. Do I have to provide descriptions here? Like that? Can I add a description? Oh, you can add sections? Oh my goodness. All right. I almost feel like these could have been a separate section. Well, whatever. Do you consent to being recorded during the consultation? Okay, these are multiple thing. Had a question. Oh wait, it's the same thing. What does section do? Oh, it's a big section. Okay, well, too late now, I think. Oh, hopefully I didn't delete anything important there. Next question would be, do you consent to having parts of your session featured in public YouTube videos or other? And then the optional one is, would you like to be tagged? Like, would you like to be credited? Or stay anonymous? I suppose? Would you like to be credited or have your game featured by name in the video? Oh, why is that? Why is this one bold? And then do multiple choice. Yes. No. Okay. I love that my music's like to stop and just likes to say hi and then go away, I guess. Well, hello everyone who is here. It's okay if you don't want to chat. This is not a forceful chat. Let's go around in circle and talk about our feelings type of place. We're strictly business, right? Strictly business. Okay. I think we're in a good place here. Let's see. I'll definitely need to make some announcement here. I guess this is required too. Well, basically everything is required, so I don't know. Well, this one is not. Okay. I'm going to publish this. Shorten. I'm offering first come, first serve. And limited spots free game. Does this make sense? I'm offering a first come first served limited spots free game and system design consultation as part of the new YouTube blah 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 blah. Yeah, let's do it. Newhouse says offering pizza? What? Newhouse says, how did your AI logic worked out so far? Oh, it works great. Oh, were you here yesterday? You didn't see it yet, right? I don't know if you would like to see its behavior, but they're doing their best to survive. And I had one gameplay. Well, it's not a gameplay, but one session where there were like too many berries propagated. Oh. That's definitely a bug, but it's okay. That's not too bad of a bug. That's the first time happening, but it's okay. It's kind of funny, actually. You're allowed to do that. You're just transplanting. But look, it tried to go there. It didn't work. It died, so it rerouted. Hey, there's a seed. Let me go berry. Hey, I'm going to make something. So they're all going for this one single seed. And then once they do that, there's not going to be any seeds. They do... When they die, they do create seeds. So we could watch them die. They die when they become 3-year-olds. So we have one more year here. I'll watch them die. But it's working. It's doing great, right? They're making their goals. They're using the well to create water. They're trying to water their... Oh, they just missed it. And they're now aimlessly walking around until the next important thing happens. I guess technically I could make it so that they all decide to attack each other to create more seeds if there isn't any. But that seems a little bit brutal. So I haven't made that part yet. But yeah, new house. It's working. Isn't this pretty cool? It's kind of mesmerizing to see this work. Because, you know, if you understand how they're doing this, you're a little bit doubtful that it was going to work. Like I was. And it is. So I'm going to see the berry die and see what happens. I do want to, if I ever get a chance, because this is demo enough for a video and a release that I don't need to work on this anymore. Oh, whoa. My YouTube just crashed. Kelso says, you didn't enable Y-Sort. I'm not going to. If I enable Y-Sort, this thing gets all messed up. It's okay, though. It's okay. They'll figure it out. Newhouse says, maybe they can start digging the ground, finding some... ooh, yeah. Finding some interesting stuff on the ground. That could be fun. Oh, I think they're going to go extinct, aren't they? Because they're... 2 of the berries are too old. Oh, I hope they survive. Let's see. Let's see if this is the end of the generation. Dude, you need to focus on getting water. One of the plants are going to die. I did it so that they focus on watering 95%, but it turns out 95% is not enough. You did it! Oh, he died before he can deliver the flower water. Oh, so sad. It's okay. Hey, you got it. Okay, the new generation has come. I also made it so that they don't steal as much. Okay, the 2 new youngins. They're about to propagate and prosper. You see how they are prioritizing picking up the water instead of using the well? Because that's less action. Kelso says, what is that decaying? When the flower... this is the water level. They become thirstier and thirstier. If it reaches 0, they die. They wither, basically. So they need to be watered before the water level reaches 0. That's why these berries are picking up these water buckets to water themselves. Oh, we got 2 elders here. Nice, nice, nice. There's no more water bucket, so you must turn on the water. Drop the seed, pick up the water bucket. Everybody is on the watering plant duty. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Okay, see? Yeah, oh. Finally, the thriving land of berry folks have come. We're doing good. We're doing well. All right, we're in a good cycle now. See? There it is. That's where we're at, Newhouse. So I just wanted to show you that. It's pretty cool. Pretty fun. I'm going to share this form now. Copy responder link. All right. I don't know if Fernando is still here or Logical Insanity is here, but I'll give you guys the opportunity to sign up first. Is that the only way to do it? I need a short link. Oh, wait. Don't form. Hold on. I need to schedule. Well, I guess I could just coordinate with you to schedule. And then I'll share it on Discord. Should I do all or stream watcher? Stream viewer and devlog enjoyer and tutorial watcher. Hello. I'm trying to open up some game dev tech. Game dev design project consultation for free on my channel. If this is something you are interested in, please sign up by completing the form here. Is it like this? I don't know if it's the other way around. Okay, hold on. Is it other way around? Is it the parentheses first? Like that? And then this? I don't remember all the metadata formatting. Whatever. It's first come, first serve. And there are limited spots if you are selected for this first wave of sessions. I will contact you personally. Is that good? Oh, hey, it did work. Nice. Nicholas Patton says, I'm curious of something. How difficult is it to code tank controls used in old horror games? You mean like where you change the position of the heading and then you just go front and back instead of turning left and right? All right, fill it up. I don't know when. Maybe I'll do it sometime next week. Maybe within next month. It could be a fun little thing. It shouldn't be that hard. What do you think is hard about that? What are you worried about? Because, okay, making it go back and forth is easy, right? Because that's, you know how to do that already. And turning with left and right is just changing your direction, the facing. So it should be pretty good. But Newhouse, thanks for sharing something to help. And this is a great chance to test my new chat restriction. You probably noticed I used to have a link disabled. Link sharing used to be disabled, but now it's enabled. So look at us go. Look at us go. Amazing, amazing. All right, that was pretty fruitful. We talked a bunch about AI stuff. I'm not done yet, though. I do want to design my Berry Folk merch. We have to do that. As a side hobby, I've been doing a lot of art commissions. I'm getting paid a penny a piece, basically. Newhouse. We don't say those words. This was my most recent commission. Some artist who draws the webtoon online commissioned me to draw their characters in a Halloween costume with some story, so I did this one. I'm kind of proud of this one, actually, because this one is the most, like, has the most emotion out of all of them. There are some teenagers, preteens, dressed up and, you know, grossing each other out. It's pretty cool. I like the rendering I did. Could be better, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is good enough. Yeah, look at that. Fun, huh? Yeah. Anyways, I just went to show off. I think Strawberry Folk. And do we do a Wizardberry? Or do we do just regular berry? That's the question. I think we have to get back to the origin. Let's do Wizardberry. Okay, we'll do the Wizardberry. So we're thinking about some Wizardberry with little silhouette. And I like the little purple hat. You're a wizard. Like that. It's like almost our wizard looks like a witch, doesn't it? And then hold on. Trust the process. I'm not, this is not going to be it. And I do think that I like the idea of it being like kind of like we have this like artsy little night sky thing where it's just a little painting thing like this. I do think that's a little bit too big, so I'm going to remove this real quick. How about if it's like a wizardberry, instead of brewing in a cauldron? Oh, what if the cauldron is Godot? So like we have a cauldron. So here, hold on. So let's say we have a cauldron that's like this, right? Yeah, this is some ideas here. So let's say we have a cauldron and then it has like some sort of fire pit, right? Nicholas Petton says, the Grand Wizberry. The Grand Wizberry. Fernando says, submitted. Yay. You're probably one of the first ones to submit, so you'll probably get the slot. I hope you're not too tight on time because I do have like 3 more videos I need to release before I can get to that part, but maybe I can find some time. Ads starting in 30 seconds on Twitch. If you want to avoid it, make sure to give me a sub, you know? I'm not begging, you know? Whatever is cool is whatever if you don't want to. Just watch the ad, I guess. I'm going to start the ad on YouTube as well, just to match the vibe. Kelso says, oh, you have Clip Studio. Yeah, it's my favorite. I love Clip Studio. It works great. And then let's say we have some sort of like little fiery, like so, right? It's going to be something like that. I guess the cauldron, let's see where the cauldrons usually stand on. Cauldron is, does it usually have a leg? Cauldron is hanging. Cauldron usually hangs. Okay. And then there's a pit of a fire. I think I like that better. Okay, let's do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just doing a little design exercise here. So we'll say this one probably hangs like so. I don't know what the best way to do it is. Should it hang by like this? Where it's like this and then it's like something like that. I feel like the visual design was hanging is not good. I like the cauldron just sitting. Or I could just go like this and then have this like disappear into the void. And then have some sort of like little fiery pit thing going on. And then have little rocks, little pebbles surrounding it, right? Like so. Something like that. And then this is going to look something like this. And then we're planning on having like Godot face. Something like this. And then we're going to have a wizardberry, which would be, I want to actually do these like underlit, like creepy face. Kelso says, no, we already read that. Nicholas says, and brewing potions in his magical Godaldron. Oh my god, it's true. I love that. Logical Insanity says, submitted second. Great. As long as everybody who wants gets it. And then after that, I'll be like, I see that the demand is popular, blah, 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 blah. I am opening up for paid services, private paid services. And then we have a business, y'all. And I can stream forever. And I can yap at you all day long, every day, until the end of time. Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't you love that? I'm like trying to hypnotize you guys. I'm like, you would love that. You love that. You want me. You want me. All right. That's funny. Okay. Berry. I'm thinking I think we want a little bit more 3D berry, right? Because this is already looking a little painterly. So we got to make sure we have some ground to stand on. We have this thing going on where the berry is holding a ladle. Maybe I need to keep it not too close to the cauldron. Here, let me draw it on different layer. So what I'm expecting is something like this, where it's looking at it, but then it's like straight up. And then it's going to have some sort of arm here sticking out. And then it's holding a ladle. Because apparently the wizards are stirring their magical pot with ladle. The true question is, how are they not toppling over? That's a real question. And I'm thinking like something like this. So it'll be like this here. Should they have should it be a shiny wizardberry like with the beard, or should it be just like so? And then it has this like wizard hat. Oops. It goes like that. Oops. Why does it keep moving it? Oh, what? What? Why is it doing that? Like that? Oh my gosh. I am sick of this. What the heck is happening? Why are you moving? Oh. My tablet was pressing on the right keyboard. Like that. Godot berry. We do have Godot berry. Have you not seen our Godot berry? Right here. Look. Our Godot berry. There's 15 of them, guys. If you redeem plant berry folks right now, you have a chance, a very high chance of getting Godot berry. In fact, there's 19% chance of getting Godot berry. Get your own Godot berry right here. All right. So I think this is simple enough. So maybe we'll have like something like this. Oh. I mean, I don't mind it being a little bit desaturated because we're thinking that it's a little bit dark. But for the sake of sanity, we'll color it kind of vibrant for now. I think we were doing... I think it was like this. Dude, this looks creepier than I intended, but jeez. Okay. A real creepy vibe here. Oops. It's okay. We'll manage. Sorry for the distraction, but we've been planning on doing this for a while. So if you're new here, don't worry. We do our game dev stuff. It's just that we need to sometimes. And I'm gonna make a little smiling face. Basically, what I want to do here is that I want this to have like this highlight. So it looks like it's doing this little smiley face. You know? With the cheek. Kind of cute cheek. But it's not cute because it's creepy. It's a berry. And it's kind of weird that the berry has this kind of face. But anyways, I'm going to have to focus on the lighting later. And then, like, gonna go like this. Details are coming alive. Apparently, this is a little bit delayed Halloween special. Looking like maybe this is what I needed to do during Halloween stream. It's kind of creepy, actually. I don't know if the brand message for the berry folk is more creepy or cute? What do you guys think? When you guys see the berry folks on the screen, do you think cute in an uncanny way? Or do you think, that's kind of creepy? Oh my god, he's screaming! He's screaming! Newhouse says, what about Dr. Frankenstein with Mad Doctor glasses? That would be cool. That would be cool. I think that's an awesome idea. And then we're going to give it a classic Mickey Mouse kind of mouse tier glove thing. Like so. Right? Something like that. And then it's holding a probably silver, bluish tinted, or I guess it could be a little bit more desaturated like that. Oh, it doesn't separate very well. This is going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to be like... what should it be holding? It should be holding something Godot related, no? Or programming related at least. What's a good program related tool that we like to use in Godot? Hey, thanks for the Prime sub, Desmond. Welcome. Chuckle says they're psychopathically cute. I mean, that's my intention, but I don't know. Somebody who had no idea, like some acquaintances in my personal life, pointed out, they were like, it's kind of creepy. Like, what is that? Like, people like it. I don't know. I find it endearing. It's cute, right? It's you can buy it at Pop Mart, guys. Oh, Signal Rigid Body. All right. Hold on. Ooh, what if it's one of those like you know how like Godot node has this like blue circle? What if it's like, what if it has that? What if we have these like, oh, that's eraser. That gives me an idea. So it's like blue circle here, which is basically represents a node. And then we have something that pops out of here that looks something like funk. You know? I don't know. Maybe like goes pen. And obviously we'll have to do recoloring, but it'll be like signal and then something like that. Sherolf says should have wore this on Halloween to scare kids. Yeah, exactly. My main question about this guy is always like, where are its eyelids? Maybe it needs to duck in and then do like, ooh, that was too big. I can do something like this, right? Like so. It does look like it's screaming in pain and agony, for sure. Something like that, right? Like this. Ah, it's so cute. Shirov says there's probably a fix if you change it a little. Yeah, the problem is the eyes and the mouth. Yeah. No, I'm going to change it. Just don't worry. Hold on. I'm just doing the basic framing to see where things are. I'm not sure if I want it to be psychopathic or if I want to change it so that it feels it a bit more. Is it too niche? Is it like too niche to like only people who watch me knows? That's a real question. Or is that so bad? You know? I do want it to be a little bit pinker, actually. More vibrant here. I'm just doing the silhouette for now. Okay. I mean, I can give it a eyelid. I mean, this one looks a little bit happier, but this one looks like it's screaming. All right, I got it. Then we can do some base work here. Oops. Oops. I mean, I like the painterly look, so I think I'm gonna keep that. But we can fix the iris a little bit. We're gonna make it so that the light is coming from down here. I can change this angle, obviously. What we can do, we can go cooler. Let's see. What's cooler? This is warmer. This is cooler. So we can go down. We're gonna hit a cool light. And we're gonna have the cool light hit from the bottom. Right? Like this. But then that's like an outside, so actually I need to put the light on the upper part because it goes in. So idea is we go down, we go desaturate a cool, and put it on here. Because that's what catches the light. And then this one can shadow out. Like so. Catches. Shadow out, some transition here, like so, and basically screaming in agony. And then we're going to provide some shadow here and the borderlines. Definitely at the bottom here. Like so. We're going to give a little bit of lighting here. Like so. We're going to provide some cool, oh, not cool light, warm light from the fire. And we'll do that over here. So I think the brow line should receive that light, right? Like so. It's facing down. So we'll go like that. New House says, what if just circle glasses? You want to give it a glasses? I mean, we can give that. Yes. Of course. Anything customer says. I agree. Like so. Like so. Then that. I'm just trying to just create some shapes here. Making 3D form. I love it. Oh, what do you mean you don't like the scary, creepy little strawberry? I mean, we can't always give this at the end, right? We can always go, oh, you know what? It's a little bit too creepy, so we're going to just go like this and then do something else, right? Well, let's get that strawberry in first. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. This is better. This is better. I love the smile. It's showing real purpose here. New House says Nightmare Fuel is perfectly good selling point. Yeah, exactly. And then it's going to go in. A little cute cheek. Very cute, plump cheek. So we're going to make sure this circle kind of lives. You know, I live. Like so. Something like that. Right? Oh, so cute. So cute. And then this one goes like this. It goes deep in. And then we can provide this shadow to go to a cooler shadow, desaturate. Well, let's go to saturated blend. And then we can make this brighter on the teeth tips. We like this, right? Hey, Terabyte Gaming. Long time no see. Hi. Avex says, I'm a solo game dev. I've never made a game, but am currently working on 3D first-person platformer. I need tips on level design. I also use Godot. Well, okay. Level design itself, you know, is tech independent, so I guess we could talk about it. What kind of first-person shooter is it, and what's your level design struggle? Or are you talking about, like, tooling for developing levels? Or are you just talking about like creating level for your game that feels satisfying and fun? Which would be a two different question, I think. I live. This is great. This will take more than just this session. I probably will take my own time to finish this out, but this is great. And then I'll probably put a little bit of like one of these things. Yeah. Ivex says, it's like only up, and I have trouble with generally a flow from the start to the end because I have a way to load the next level when you enter a mesh. It's like only up. And I have trouble with generally a flow from start to the end. For like the gameplay, like how fun the game feels. Because if that's the case, then I do think that you... Okay, so generally for level design, especially from beginning, I do think that there's some benefit in focusing on what the player is learning, right? And I'm sure you're aware of this. I'll be surprised if you don't already know. Oh, wait, whites? I did it. Oh, man, I did it opposite. Forgot that the whites are like this. Forgot. Yo, hold on. The whites... Because this is the iris. And whites are actually circular. So I have to cover it like this. Completely. Sorry, Avex. I'm a little bit distracted here. So I was just saying that the general basic rule, I think rule of thumb is that there's a sense of like, before even considering space, I think there is a, it might be worth it to think about what the player is learning in the beginning. And then what they're mastering, because you want to give them the feeling of mastery. And I think this can be a little bit. Okay, I think that's okay. So like if you're teaching players to do something like shoot at enemies of certain type, for example, then you want to make sure that you introduce that ramp slowly so that they feel like, oh, I'm learning this skill. And then once they learn it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is challenging. But then like I get to like solve this. Unless that's not what you're talking about. I mean, that's my general approach of these things. Sorry if I'm not helpful. I'm also very distracted. I would love to be helpful, but sometimes, well, a lot of times I'm not very helpful. Fernando says, sorry, I have to go, but I'll be waiting for news on the consultation. Yeah, no problem. I'll be contacting you once I go through that list. I'll probably first contact you guys to schedule, to find out when the good times are for you guys. So, there you go. Newhouse says, I might be useful to ask about level design if Doomy or Quake 1 vibes. If you have info of all guns, range or speed, levels can give players sense of scales needed to feel safe. Oh, yes. I do believe that there's a huge impact on the tempo of feeling the rush versus rest. If you're feeling rushed all the time, meaning everything is urgent throughout the entire thing, you get fatigued. So you want to provide those like sense of rest in rhythm to give that feeling of like not being like constantly exhausted mentally. But of course, I mean, that depends on if that's the kind of game you want to make, I guess. Really, if that's the case, then it's not too bad. But yeah. You ask more questions, Avex. It seems like on Twitch, Newhouse has some opinion of a level design, so might be worth it to get some of their idea and opinion. This is really creepy. There you go. Okay, here we go. And then provide some lips. I don't know if this is actually exactly something that you want to have in your house. Feels a little cursed. There you go. Cursed berry, more like. Cute. Let's see. Newhouse says, I did mistake of super fatiguing player with trap heavy levels, so do everything I don't do. Newhouse says, it is fine if some levels have some mistakes. Charm is more important after all. Yeah, I mean, like, kind of the storytelling is good, but I think there's like, fatigue is a real thing, honestly. I don't know if you can recall the time of like ever playing certain games that you really liked, but then you're like, oh, I can't continue this because it's like it's demanding too much. And that's not the feeling that you want to provide to your players, right? There you go. I think this got to be the creepiest berry I've ever drawn so far in my streaming career. It's okay. Oh, so cute. Surely everybody wants this one. The purple and the red doesn't really mix well, does it? The blending doesn't really pick up very well. Because this whole thing needs to be that color as it fades into the shadow. This one goes like this. Ah! Oh my god. It makes sense. Oh yeah, so since the game is first person 3D based platformer and I want to make it like only up or Pac-Man world, Crash Bandicoot, like it only goes up is what you mean. I want to make levels that aren't too intensive on GPU or CPU. I mean, obviously, like you don't have to render the whole thing the whole time, I think. I have a feeling it's not going to be that heavy. Let's see. Newhouse says, now doing indie shooter, aiming at simple, smaller maps, so they are nice, bite-sized fun. I mean, that could be fun. Avex, I do have to ask though. You got to explain the mechanics of the game that you're making. Who Cares YouTube says, oh, why does this look so good? Does it look so good? Does it? Hey, I mean, that feels good to me if you say it looks good. And then we're going to dip it down in more. We're going to get some deep highlights here. Here you go. Give it a little texture here, the boundaries. Just, oh man, these rendering is kind of going crazy. There you go. Some cleanup here. Just, oh man, it's so funny to me. I'm sorry, everyone. We had a very useful development session earlier, so I'm gonna give myself a little forgiveness here for going a little insane with this. Okay, I'll provide some little borderline texture thing going on, so it does look a little bit smoother. And then time for a little bit of highlight. I don't really need a highlight here, since, you know, I don't think. Let's see. Toxic Shrimp Gaming says, hey, I've been playing around with Unity and Unreal, and I think I like Unreal more. But the question is, where should I start if overall I'm completely new to world of game development? You know, honestly, I say this to everyone all the time. When you're learning, you definitely, if you've never had, I mean, though you've already had some experiences, if you have some coding experiences where you feel like you feel comfortable with the using the tool to make the games that you want, Game Jam is definitely a great place to start. I really think so. So I would recommend doing some game jams. Join some game jam. Otherwise, if you're thinking more like, where do I start like learning? I like to say choose the game genre that you want to make. Something simple that you can imagine yourself making. Platformer, if it's 3D, some 3D shooter, whatever. Puzzle, platformer, whatever. And then look for those things specifically on tutorials online. Being like, okay, if I want to make puzzle platformer on Godot, Unreal, or Unity. How do I do this? And then you search that. And then while learning those things, of course, the tutorials are limited. What you focus on is basically listening for any, when they explain, hey, in order to do this, this is what you do, question yourself and be like, why? Why does it have to be this way? If there's any portions where you're like, I don't get why this has to be this way, start deep diving and search for that reason. And then you start to gain knowledge about these keywords, right? You're like, okay, this concept is called collision, or this concept is called state machine. And you start to build these like dictionary of logic and language that allows you to better search these keywords. And then you start building your repertoire and like idea of how to teach yourself new information. And then before you know it, you cycle those patterns back and forth and you have yourself a game. And you've learned new knowledge, and you learn how to learn. I mean, that's the idea, at least. I'm sorry for a generic answer, but that's kind of the idea, I think. Who cares? YouTube says art minor? No, I just like drawing. That's all. No real training. Toxic says, I'm very interested in games that are based in movement and velocity and already have a good idea of what I want to accomplish. And I think game jams definitely are a good idea. Yeah, because, you know, so weird. I don't know why we do this, but like as humans, we really operate much better when there's like fire under our butt. Meaning like if we're like, you know, asked to do something in time, we achieve so much more than we would if we were just like casually chilling. I don't know why we do that. We just love pain, I guess. Okay, says it definitely could see art minor and programming major. Thanks, I appreciate it though. I mean, that's a compliment. I'll take it. Cat. Good coloring. I want to do something here. I'm gonna do, I mean, I could go really crazy with the detail. So if I go, hold on, are strawberry seeds yellow or black? They're black, right? On a strawberry? Or does it depend on how ripe they are? Oh, they are yellow. They just have those like holes. Okay. So the idea would be, because I want to first distribute it. So I'll have a little bit of desaturated thing. Okay, good. And then put some down. Yes, that's a good color. So go boop, 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 boop. Like so. Right? Let's say I do this. Of course, I'm going to have to, what do you call? Do a lot of work on them individually. But I think what I want to do is spread these seeds on the face. And then use, because it's on a separate layer, I think we could do some overlay tricks. Hello, Riven Main. Are you a Riven Main? You know, I haven't played League in so long. I recently saw Faker is going for his 5th win already. And I'm like, oh my god, that guy is still the GOAT, huh? Okay. Let's say we do this, right? And make sure these are evenly distributed. Basically, I think what I want to achieve, dim down the opacity, lock it down, and give it some airbrush. big soft airbrush and do a little shadow work. And then do a little spot shadow. Like so. And then do a little bit of highlighted ones. Like so. And then for the highlighted ones, I think the dim ones, I think I want to actually dim it down even more. I like this, so I'll go like that. Like so. And then for the spots where we're right up against it, I think what I can do, where I'm gonna merge the layer below, do a little forceful blending here to give this sense of 3D. So I'm gonna use this color. Hello? Don't crash on me. Okay. So I'm gonna go boop, like so. And then provide this. Oh, hold on. Need thinner. Like so. And this is gonna cause some illusion here. Like so. So only on the detail part, I'm doing a little detailing here. Like only on the light part, I mean. Because I'm going to assume that if something is in the dark, they're losing some message, some information. So I'm doing a little bit of this, where it's like, oh. You'll see what I'm doing here in a bit. This looks ridiculous right now, but it'll make sense, I think, once I zoom out. Oops. Then go like that. Contrast higher on the deeper ones. There you go. A little disturbing. I got it. Copy and paste. Hold on. Undo. I'm going to undo all of them. Copy. And then redo all of them. And then paste. And let it show through just a little bit. Like so. There you go. Just a tiny bit of that whole feeling of it being like detailed. Rivermane says, hi there. He still is. Are you 10 plus years in software development, all gaming? No. I was in a lot of backend web service because I was in Amazon and Google for like 12, 13 years. And then I did solo game development for 3 years now. Toxic Shrimp Gaming. Oh, sorry. I didn't see your YouTube message. Toxic Chimp Gaming says, thanks for the insight. And I wouldn't say the answer was too generic. You gave me more point of view, and that helps a lot. Oh, yeah, appreciate that. Thanks for asking and being involved in this. Okay. So we got some berry folk here. The iris is still a little bit unfocused, but I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. It still feels pretty polished, I think. We're getting to the little good polish section. I think I'm going to keep it a little rough there. Teeth is looking good. We got the smiling face. Next up, I think we want to clean up some of these things. We're going to merge these. Oops. Oh, I got to save it. I haven't saved it. All this time I haven't saved it yet. That's kind of crazy. Let's do art. Wizard, Berry, Godoltrin. Merch design. Do we need a text? Should it say some message on top? Maybe. Cat. Let's see. We gotta clean up some of these things and make sure we don't mess with anything else. But what we can do, I think we can do one of these things. Like so. Is it too dark? I feel like the black is a little bit too much, huh? I kind of regret drawing this over. Maybe it needs to be like gray. A little bit more washed out. Because I need an opportunity to give it this like color contrast for that three-dimensionality. Like so. Doesn't contrast as well for me. I mean, part of it is because I'm red-green colorblind. But even then. There you go. Oh yeah, you got your plant. Did you not see it? You got a little blueberry folk. Wow. Oh hey, somebody got a shiny wizardberry. Chillhop. Chillhop, we got a shiny wizardberry. That's the best one. That's my favorite, at least. Congrats. Hey, Danimal. Do you like what you see? You like what you see? All right. Let's see. I do think it can be bigger. I feel like it can be bigger. Like that. Right? And then move the whole thing. And then maybe I'll make this bigger too. Then move it down a little bit. Who cares says, that reminds me. Oh, more booster pack. Demo says, not going to lie, that berry looks like it is going to eat my soul. Would you buy this, Monk? I know, it's a very much acquired taste. I'm not gonna lie. I recognize that this is an acquired taste thing. But those with good taste will acquire it, is how I see it. Here you go. Okay. It's really creepy, I'm sure. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. Denwell says, I think it's the eyes. I mean, that's its main characteristics, I think. For sure. Okay, hold on. Let me clean this up. There you go. I think it needs to just kind of retract more. Where goes something like into a point, actually. Who cares? YouTube says, what was the shiny command again to see if you got one? If you do exclamation shiny, it'll switch to your shiny skin or turn off the shiny skin. You could also do exclamation berries, and it'll tell you all the berries you have, and it'll tell you which ones are shiny. And this is a node wand. Can you recognize this? This is the same icon you wield in order to create a new node. There you go. There's some details here. There you go. Okay. Then we'll go brighter here. There you go. There you go. A little bit. Did I just get a very rare one? Hey, you got a squat berry. Nice, congrats. That is a rare one. Because it's one of the most recent one too. Look at you. Get your collection, everyone. It means something big, I swear. It's not just It's not just a Skinner's box. It's life or death. Having one means you've succeeded in life. I think the strawberry's looking kind of good. A little bit, a little bit too good, actually. I'm a little bit creeped out, I have to admit. What I like to do, though, on top of all this, is I like to give a little bit of contrast on a tonal correction, because I am, once again, I have issues with color in general. So I can bring the dark to be even darker and make the light to be lighter. Do one of these things. Yeah. See the difference now? This was before, after, right? The tone feels better. Feels more intentional. I think. All right. Now, probably going to remove some of the stuff in the back. Do a little bit of rim light probably. Since we've been going from warm to cold, I think we're gonna go back to warm light doesn't bounce out to even colder. Okay, that's a good color. So I'll do that one. I just simply go like this. So, and reduce it down like so. Then I'm just going to blend it out. Okay, cool. And then now we're going to do the hat. And then who cares? YouTube says, don't mind me. Apparently I can't type. Wait, what? It seems like, oh, Chaganaberry instead of Changeberry. No, it happens all the time for me. No worries. The warmer, colder. Okay, so we can go warmer, brighter. Give it a little rim here. I'll probably do a little thinner. Then give it a little this. We can go even darker here. On the prospects of what this is. That we can give a little bit of light here. Then have some blocking out some lights and darks. Mask it down. Like so. Something like that. I mean, lighting doesn't quite make sense, but Denim says, "Are we doing just R for fun, or is there a reason you're making this?" This is our merch, our Berry Folk mug design. This is gonna go on the mug that you guys are going to buy, right? You love the design, right? You want to buy this, right? Right, everyone? You're like, wow, I really want to buy this. I swear that's what I heard. That's what the rumor says. I mean, part of it is for fun. But we just finished our, what do you call? We just finished our AI logic. So I'm ready to write some scripts for that video. So I think it's okay that we're getting a little bit distracted. I mean, the reality is that because it's a game dev channel, whenever I do one of these things, I know I lose a lot of the extra people. My core audience tend to stay for this. Thank you. But I know a lot of people who come from raids tend to be like, this is not what I signed up for, and not stick around. But, you know, I accept my risk. Sometimes, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. So, it's okay. But hip hip hooray for those who enjoy art. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Cleaned up. Denmal says the eyes will haunt me, but yes, I'll buy it. That's the whole point. Get haunted. You'll never forget. You'll always be like, oh my gosh, I am an Ezra viewer. That is definitely the idea. Well, it'll only be our first merch. Maybe we'll get to a merch that you will actually enjoy. Dimple says, I'm giving you a hard time, but it looks really nice. You're a better artist than me. Thanks, I appreciate it. I mean, part of it is that I probably should hire someone to do this for me, but I don't know, I kind of like the creative process of merch design. I mean, this one in particular is a little bit unhinged. So I get it. In the dark. All right, we're gonna make probably some. Yeah, that's good. Something like that. And then for this one, where I go like this, whoops. Probably go something like this. Oh, I lost. Why does my YouTube crash? Newhouse says it's so cute. I hope you're real. We got ourselves our audience. Get him! Get him! Lock him up! We're never letting you go, Newhouse. Yes, we got our audience. Don't let go. We're locking you up. You're now a forever Ezra viewer. You don't get to watch any other stream. Never again. Haha! You didn't know what you're signing up for. If only. If only I had such power. All right. Now we're gonna do lock them up, brighten up a little bit. There you go. Good stuff, huh? There you go. Bam, bam, boom. Boom bop. Newhouse says, if being honest, I would buy that as gift to my parents. What? Honestly, you're like, I'm gonna curse my parents. Don't you know? It's for everybody who loves strawberries. Just don't look too deeply into their eyes. Whatever you do, never be alone with this design at night. Always make sure that you're in pair. Can't promise you your safety. Who cares? You two says for birthday, yeah. Freddy Confetti says, this critter scares me. Does it though? This is your best friend. Wizardberry says, I'll see you tonight in your dreams. Daniel says, I feel like it should have blueberry just dripping from its mouth. You guys are too much. I love it. Okay. I'm gonna merge these now. What do you mean? This is my best berry art. Notice I haven't even gotten to the cauldron yet. I'm gonna have to redo this part because the perspective is off, but we'll get around to it. Not a problem. I'll give it a little bit of muscle here. On this holiday, give your parents the curse they deserve with the berry folk. That's the pitch for this merch. It's not even about the fans. There you go. There you go. A little bit of janky shoes, but have a berry leg sticking out of the cauldron. I think that would be a great idea, actually. I agree. What if I gave it a juicy lip? Like, would that be crazy? What if I gave it like, here, hold on. What if I did something like this, right? Go like this. Watch. my gosh, stop. Struggling. And gave it a little chin. Just trolling myself right now. Very kissable lips on these berries. Oh my god, it actually kind of works. Does it have a very leg sticking out? No, I saw that. Freddy. It's got to make the juice purple so it stands out. Exactly. We got to make that. Dude, actually, the lips are a little bit too good. This is great. Can't believe the lips actually work. Good phrase it. Nah, your gaslighting is scary. What do you mean? It's so friendly. Here, I can give it an even juicier lips. Here, little kissable lips. Lovely, huh? Oh my god. When you see it. When you see it. Lovely. Is this your way of soft launching a horror game? You know, that could be fun idea. The horror world of berries. It's like, oh, they're so cute. Like it start like cute. And then they're like just kind of demented berries. They're cannibalistic berries. In this world, the berry eats you. The berry takes revenge for all the times you've been eaten. Or you've eaten them. There you go. There you go. Cute. Daniel says would be awesome, yeah. Low key. Low key legit. Oh shoot. How long have I been streaming? Oh, a little bit past 3 hours. Let's see. Oh, there's some communications going on. Well, I definitely need to change the cauldron angle. Okay. Should there be any text on this mug? If you think. It's just gonna say something like what if hold on. What if it says something like some friendly message like it says we are devs. Or we are game devs. Like that. Good shirt design, good mug design. Freddy Confetti says, a cayenne pepper guy that's two guys connected by the stems, one red and one green. or something like that, where you see like little kisses. Ooh, there's a lip. Yeah. This is not scary. I think it's great. Freddy says, I'm a bad idea factory. Hit me up anytime. What do you mean? This is a great idea. I think we're doing great, guys. Oh, don't be so harsh on yourselves. You're accepted in here. We're chock full of great ideas over here. There you go. Then we'll do one of these again. Clean up the shoes. Freddy says, I gotta work on my game, but I don't want to model an ant right now. Oh, are you doing some 3D modeling right now? Sounds fun. Sounds like you're having a great time. Okay, with or without lips? I think with lips looks less creepy, right? I think I like it with the lips. We'll keep the lips. And then I want to give it a little bit more depth on the shoes, the bottom of the shoes. So I think I'll probably go deeper and airbrush it a little bit. Maybe instead I'll just do one of these. Like so. That's more. Freddy says the lips definitely make it better. Yeah, exactly. And then there's one minor detail that'll really put it, bring it together. That is something like this. So if I do like that, then I think that'll really brings it together, I think. Boom. Yeah? Love it, right? I do think that some of the environmental light will get to it, so I might have to bring in more lightness to this shadow, where probably I'm thinking that we're probably going to get a little bit warmth in it. Like so. Yeah. Ta-da! Hey guys, buy my mug. Maybe I can mask this into this. So it's clipped. Hey, nice. Who cares? YouTube says buy my evil strawberry. No, it won't propagate in your house. No, you're not. You're imagining it. You just didn't. You didn't just get second copy of this mug out of nowhere in your house. I just find the idea so silly. All right. Tenable says I'll take 15 nightmare mugs. Great, great everyone. I definitely need to clean up the cauldron a little bit. But I think idea is there. Let's see. Like that. I do think, let's see. Make sure. I mean, clearly I could line up the perspective better. So it's looking into this. So it's just could make it bigger like that. So that it lines up. The bottom of this lines up with the bottom of this. Then I can just kind of make it big. Bottom is here, like that. And I can bring it closer actually. Like so. There you go. And then let's see. We're seeing a lot of the top. I mean, it's not a precise science for me. I'm not trying to be like amazingly correct. But I mean, I don't want to be too wrong. I think the warmer is what we're looking for. Like so. Right. And then technically what we have is something in here. And that's like probably glowing soup of bunch of stuff, which we talked about earlier. Oops. The plenty of misadventure. Something like that. Denim says, couldn't decide if I wanted to make 3D or 2D games, so I'm making both. Lol, I guess it's called 2.5D games. Yeah, 2.5D is trendy. Though I guess the question is, you do have an option between like, do you do your 2.5D with a 3D environment? Or do you do it with your, what do you call? You know? Do you do it with 3D environment or do you do it with 2D environment where the 3D aspect is simulated? That's always a question, I think. Who cares, YouTube? Oh, sharing watch streak reached on a 3-stream streak. Wow, congrats. Look at you being a dedicated fan. Freddy says, is Doom technically 2.5D? You know what? Yo, that's a good question. I think it's 3D. I think Doom is 3D because wait. Right? Doom is 3D. Oh man, now I'm confused. Now you've done it. I don't know, for some reason in my head I feel like the Doom is just 3D game. Huh. You know, that's a valid point that it might be 2.5D because like all the assets are 2D, but they're rendered in a 3D space. I don't know. What a mystery, yeah. That's kind of crazy. Denimal said, or Freddy says, it's a great aesthetics in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I like 2.5D too. Okay, so one thing that I do have, I have a pet peeve about 2.5D, by the way. I don't know if it's because people just have less like artistic knowledge or like they're just not really like worried about what it means. But I have an issue with the stand-in look. Like, okay, how do I describe this? So if you're not careful with the 2.5D, where you're using 2D assets in a 3D environment, you get this effect of like, you know, sorry, I'm a little distracted here. You get this effect of like you have a cutout, like Paper Mario. It feels like all the characters are like a cutout instead of having dimensionality. They're like 2D figures that are just standing on a 3D world, like a little standout, little stand-in figure, which looks kind of goofy if you, once you see it, you can't unsee it type of thing. That's my pet peeve. So if you use like, especially if people are trying to be fancy and they use like normal map, where their 2D characters in this 3D world is getting lighting on the rim. You get a rim light. If you're not careful, you get that extra feeling of those rim light looking like it emphasizes the fact that you're just a cutout, like a cardboard cutout. So I don't know. You know, if that's the effect you want, whatever. I guess who am I to say anything? But it bothers me when a game does that. You know? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways. That is just my opinion. What do you think? Am I doing too much with this cauldron? I do think that it can go deeper though. Let me make the core shadow darker. Like so, right here. Freddy Confetti says the characters and sprites in Doom are 2D, but it's in 3D environment. Yeah. Like I don't think there's like a clear definition of what 2.5D might be. Reason I keep feeling like Doom is 3D instead of 2.5D is because all intents and purposes, everything is calculated to be 3D. Like the simulation, the location. Only thing 2D about it is the assets. So I don't know. It's a little tricky. But then like you could argue like that's the case for other guys too. So, you know, what of it? So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Don't confuse me. Cat. I think it's okay. I do want to reflect more intense lighting. A little muddy, but I think this is what I get. Daniel says, makes sense. Cauldron looking good. Would be cute if the cauldron was actually a coffee cup. Lol, but that's just a thought. Ooh, that would be cute. Dang. Okay. Idea is, do we do this or do we just change the form completely? Make it into like the typical coffee cup. You know what? I'm gonna just trim it down. Your wife has a cauldron coffee cup? That's cute. That's also fun. Oops. Ooh, that gives you a reason to buy this, right? It's like, hey, I saw this and I thought of you, wifey. I swear, our monies are spent on useful things. I didn't just buy this on whim. Because some random dude on the internet said I should support him. This. Lighting is a little bit tricky though. Oops. The perspective is a little off. I'm gonna have to do some surgery here. I'm gonna have to go deeper here. Shave it even more. I think that's okay. I think that's good enough. I don't want to like over bake it. Like get too obsessive in getting to look correct. Because I think if the illusion is there, I always say that. As long as the illusion is there, it's good enough. And then we'll bring this up a little bit more here. Do this. A little bit of that. Or maybe extra layer, mask it. Do one of these things. Bring these. And then blend it out. Do a collage here. Like that. Denmal says, she's given up on me buying anything useful. Now that is a relationship that you strive for. For certain. For certain. No doubt, no doubt. Okay, fire. Fire. What does fire look like? Cauldron, pit fire. Pit fire. Yellow in the center, orange on the outer layer, it seems. That's gonna be hard to draw. I don't know how fire looks. Let's do something like this. We're gonna put a lot of energy. Right? Well, first of all, we need to decide the boundaries here. And we set the boundaries are probably something like this. Right here? Okay. So we're keeping this as a boundary. And from here, we're saying that the fire is sourced. So we get something like this. Yes. So this is where you get something like this happening. And then we can get a little bit of... Wait, hold on. I thought I heard knocking on my door and it was just my cat. Can you see him? Or her? Say something. I think she wants me to stop. You know what? This was a good session, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Peach is here too. Both cats. Yeah, she needs attention. All right. Well, I mean, I think this is a good stopping point. I'll post it on Discord and be like, hey, what do you guys think about this merch design? Taking taking suggestions. All right. Thanks everyone for watching today. I know I got really distracted, but you know, this is good. Let's see. Okay. We're gonna raid. Let's raid out here. Yeah, thanks, Denimal. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's my schedule. Join Discord. Go watch YouTube. Hypnotic is disconnected. Oh, I guess we'll go to JD. Let's go to JD. All right, I'll see y'all, everyone. I'll see you next time. We'll go have fun. Thanks for all the people who donated today and subbed and all that good stuff. And don't forget, I'm doing the consultation stuff. It's on Discord. Fill out the form. I have a feeling if there's enough lined up that I can maybe do up to like 10. That could be a good series. But yeah. All right. Bye. Okay, YouTube. Thanks for watching as well. Thanks for the patience. And I'll see y'all later as well.